Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to this replay in the M26 Pershing American Tier 8 medium tank. Now, you know you get those games where, win or lose, it was actually a really good game and you were happy to take part. Maybe you get those, maybe you don't. This is one of those. And this isn't really about me or about the Pershing per se, it's just about the game in general, so I wanted to bring you this. Now this is a confrontation game at Tier 9. It is late World War II and early Cold War Russians versus Americans. And when this matchmaker kicked off, I was not filled with a happy feeling, because they have a bunch of heavy tanks, mainly IS-3s. And we have no heavy tanks. Okay, that's a bit of a bummer. We have a lot of medium tanks, that's fine. We have a lot of Super Pershings, the T-26E4. And the Super Pershing, it's a Tier 8 premium American medium tank. It plays like a heavy though. And the Super Pershing is not the best tank in the game. It really isn't. The gun is meh. The armours, since it was changed, is meh. It's just not a great machine. So I was worried about this game. But it turned into a really, really good game. And I'm not going to spoil the outcome for you. So, we are going down by the train tracks. We're in a medium tank, we're in the Pershing, we've got half-decent gun depression, so let's go down by the train tracks. It seems like a sensible idea. There's a T-69 ahead of me, and you know, there's a bunch of mediums and the odd TD coming with us. And I'm pushing up here, and oh good lord, what have we seen? We take a shot there at a TD, and what I'm trying to do here, I keep advancing, I'm trying to get underneath their gun line, underneath their gun depression. Then I decide to pull back. It doesn't really seem worth it, but ooh, take a bounce there. Russian tanks, generally speaking, have really poor gun depression. In fact, the one exception I can think of is the Matilda 4, which actually has the best gun depression in the game. Tier 5 Russian medium tank. But it's, oh god, we get hit by the Object 704 there, that hurt. But it's worth pointing out that the Matilda 4, it's a Lend-Lease Matilda, and the Matilda is a British tank, so, you know, there we go. And we get a shot in there to kill the Su-101, but, oh, good lord, an IS-3 is going full YOLO against us. So, he's found a Super Pershing to play with. I get a shot into him. Sorry, that's not a Super Pershing, it's a T-69. T-69 is opening up on him. I managed to finish him off. So I've got myself 2 kills so far. But as I say, it's not really about that. The score-wise, we are losing 2-4. We've lost one of our Tier 9s, it's an auto-loader, that's a bummer, 2 Super Pershings and a T-69. They've lost the Su-101 and the IS-3, both of which I've killed. Hey. Although the SU really was just polishing him off, doing the last 70 odd damage or something. So what I'm trying to do here is use my gun depression to poke over this ridge, keep my hull hidden, and hope that my turret armour holds up. Now, the frontal turret on the Pershing is good, but an Object 704, for example, or an IS-3 can still make a mess of you. So I'm trying to aim for the flattened part of the front of that IS-3's armour. So the IS-3 has a pike nose, and it gets a lot of its frontal hull armour strength from the pike, which generates the strength from the angling. But if it's at an angle to you, then it flattens the front of that pike nose out and gives you a more likely penetration, basically. So if you're in an IS-3 and you're against equal or lower tier opponents, definitely, then consider, there you go, there's a shot that went straight through. Then consider just driving straight forwards towards your opponents. Against higher tier opponents, you might want to reconsider that, but there we go. Now I actually loaded APCR, it would appear, for that, because reliably penetrating the IS-3 is just icky with this gun. And so I just load, you can see I keep a little bit of APCR around. This game was quite tight, and so I wanted to try and make sure of some damage. There's a bounce on the object, troll Russian armour. I wanted to make sure of some damage, just to try and keep things going. So I go back to armour piercing after firing 3 APCR rounds. And you can see APCR isn't a guaranteed penetration, although the APCR does have pretty high penetration on this gun. 260 something, which is about 80 points higher than the armour piercing penetration, but never mind. One of the KV-4 on the enemy team is asking us to kill the ST-1, please. He is a noob and a coward. Never mind. I don't know. So we're still having a look over there, and we can see that they have a thing over there, an IS-3. That's the word I was looking for, and there's the Object 704. Oh, don't quite have the gun depression to shoot him. Oh, there we go. And we managed to put a shot into him. And pull back. So the town has not gone as disastrously badly as I was expecting. They've lost 3 heavy tanks. They've had at least one of those was actually on this flank. One of those IS-3s. IS-3 is using a premium ammunition against a Pershing, apparently. Which is interesting because, well, the IS-3 shouldn't have massive penetration problems against a Pershing, but there we go. Maybe he just thought the situation was a bit close, a bit desperate. Whatever. There's a bit of a thing about premium ammunition in this game. Oh god, we take another shot from the 704, and I put one through him. About like APCR and heat ammo, the premium ammunition. I think it goes back to the days when it was only available for real money, and so it was basically pay to win. The guy says, "Are you rich? Can you give me money?" You can buy premium ammunition without real money. Just use credits. Maybe he's referring to "Are you rich in game?" I don't know. But you can see I carry 15 rounds, and that's mainly for tier 10 games, so that I can actually do something against the side of a mouse, for instance. But occasionally it's useful against IS-3s as well. But I don't just spam it, because, well, it would be horrifically expensive to do in the first place, and I don't want to in the second. Oh, that's helpful. One of the enemy ISUs just drowned himself. Hopefully accidentally, probably accidentally, but either way, he's dead. Now, they've still got both of their tier 9s intact, which is kind of irritating, but there we go. Oh, this T-28's taking a pummeling, and I'm running out of friends over here. So I really want to keep this guy alive, but I'm also conscious that, oh god, I'm on 5 health. I'm going to repair that track and bug the hell out of there. So we pull back, and this T-28 now finds himself in a really awkward position because he's trying to pull back, but to do that there's an IS-3 behind him and he has to angle himself in reverse. And the front of the T-28, prototype that is quite resilient. The sides are really not. The sides are made of tissue paper and wishful thinking. So the scores are currently 7-8, which is fairly close. T-30's racked up 2 kills, I've got 2 kills. T-28 prototype, not this one, the other one, is on 1 kill. But we've just lost another one, but we gained one back. So it's 8-9 now. These guys seem really reticent about coming over the ridge. And then we've got the other Pershing, I believe, in the background to our left. I've just been spotted again, but who cares? We put one shot into that Object 416. T-28 prototype puts a shot into the IS-3. I bounce on the IS-3. Oh, I can't save our T-28 buddy over there. So I'm pulling back, desperately trying not to die. And I'm being chased down by this IS-3, which is bad. Oh dear, 9-10. But hello, I have a friend. Our T-28, not the prototype. Oh, there we go, I die. I put one more shot into an IS-3 and then die. Our T-28 was covering me. And so our other Pershing nails one of their IS-3s, our T-28 prototype nails one of their ISUs, and then our STI nails the T-28 prototype, and it's currently 11-12. So we've got 3 left, they've got 4. Here's the T-28 that gave me some covering fire, so thank you very much, dude. Much obliged. Here's our Pershing, who's on very low health, and he has a damaged gun. Not great. And here's our T-30. His health situation is okay, but not brilliant. Oh, and he misses the ISU, and oh dear, STI behind him. Oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and whack! 14% health left. Oh dear, but the STI has now fired, and the STI has a fairly long reload. And our Pershing is whinging about 2 versus 1. Well, that's how you play this game. You know, fair fights for suckers. But he died, he went down, he wasn't on very high health anyway. So we are left with the T-28 and T-30. Thing is, they're both fairly well armoured, they both have good guns, they're both also slow as syrup. They really are slow. So we come back to this duel between the STI and the T-30, and the T-30 manages to blitz the STI. 4 minute 40 of the game left, and the T-28 nails the ISU. Suddenly this is looking winnable. So there's an IS-3 and an Object 416 remaining. But you can see that both of our remaining guys are quite slow. And the IS-3 and Object are both quite mobile. And so this puts us in a rather precarious position. If both of our tank destroyers stick together and go the same way, so let's say for instance they assault the enemy base, then the 2 tanks on the enemy team can just come round, start capping us, and I don't think either of these guys would be able to get back in time to reset. If, however, they go back to our base and defend it, then this game could just time out. And if they split up, oh well, splitting up is rarely a good idea. So I think the Object is going to possibly try and cap us, because you're both quite slow, and oh hello, someone's capping. I assumed the Object. And you can see these guys, I mean less so the T-30, but the T-28 in particular is just painfully slow. The T-30 is not, you know, slow, but he's sort of heavy tank slow. He's certainly not fast. And I say, good job guys, whatever happens, because this has been a very well fought game, a very hard fought game. And it was a great game to take part in, regardless of the outcome. Now, will the T-30 make it back to our base in time to reset? It looks like he probably will. So who is it in the cap? I'm not sure which one I'd prefer. The Object 416 is more mobile, so I kind of hope it... Oh, it's the IS-3. Alright, T-30 aims, T-30 executes. Okay, so that's the IS-3 down, so that just leaves that Object 416. Thing is, the Object 416 can just give us a bit of a run around if he really wants to. Depends if he's playing for a draw or what. Or maybe he's just back there defending their base. I don't know. I really don't know. But we haven't seen him since the time when he was involved in an engagement with me. Well, I haven't seen him since then anyway. And so the last time I saw him was by the train tracks. He's got 3 kills, and I think it might have been him that nailed our other Pershing, I'm not sure. But he's on 3 kills, and he seems to be doing okay for himself. And he might be on the train tracks, but I don't know. So as it stands at the moment, our T-30, on 5 kills, he's done very well. If he can nail the Object, he gets a top gun out of this. Our T-30 is going to the train tracks. There's 1 minute 30 of the game left. Our T-28, bless him, is struggling to keep up and make an impression on this game. And there isn't the time to cap, because neither of these guys are going to get back to the enemy base in capping time. It's only 1 minute 20 left. So it really is make your mind up time. I do feel really sorry, especially for our T-28 here, because he is just so slow. But anyway, nonetheless, these guys are heading to the train tracks. With 50 seconds left, it's looking a bit dodgy as to whether they're going to find him or not, though. And so you have to start wondering, is this going to be a draw? Now on the one hand, if it was a draw, that'd be a bummer, because it means both teams lose. And I hate draws. On the other hand, it's not as if one team was... It's not as if this was a runaway match or anything. The Russian team seems to have the numerical advantage throughout a good chunk of it, but the vast majority of the game. But the Americans have clawed it back, and it's really close. Could go either way. A draw would arguably be the fairest result, and less than 10 seconds left. These guys just aren't going to find him. 4, 3, 2, 1, end of game. And that was it. It was a draw. Which, as frustrating as draws are, I thought was kind of fitting. And especially because we're dealing with a bunch of basically Cold War tanks, it seemed very apt. No tier 7s, just tier 8 and 9. It seemed very apt, and I poetic. I liked it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to watch some of my other videos. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I wish you happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao ciao.